Well, I've been in northern Nigeria this week working on an Arise News special tracking the impact on civilians of the insurgency and of the offensive. Beneath this bridge in the town of Maiduguri in northeastern Nigeria lies the underlying cause behind the rash of appalling terror attacks unleashed by Boko Haram militants. Few places in Nigeria are as closely associated with poverty as this part of the city. Forgotten by their political leaders, life for many people here is a struggle for survival. And it is here that the Boko Haram leadership has found fertile ground for recruitment. Caught between the insincerity of government and a terribly bleak future, many young people here and across northeastern Nigeria have chosen to join a terror organization that insists the answer is to wage war against the powers that be.
One of the major reasons why this has come up is the neglect, the level of poverty, the neglect. Honestly, people here don't feel that they are part of Nigeria because it's like the government doesn't seem to care.
Most of the people who live here have no access to basic necessities such as electricity, clean water, healthcare and education. But their leaders, both religious and civilian, seem less interested in poverty alleviation and more keen to amass as much wealth as they can. This mansion belongs to a politician. Its opulence stands in shocking contrast to the homes of the desperately poor that make up the majority here. You mentioned the fact that poverty is the problem. You're a member of the State Assembly. What have you done to try and alleviate the poverty in your area?
The opposition party, or the opposition, the enemy of progress, I can say, are sabotaging. Understand? When the government is trying to do road infrastructure, the company, the Chinese people that are working here have been killed by the Boko Haram.
The license plates on cars here boldly and almost perversely proclaim Borno, home of peace. But this violence-ridden state has been anything but peaceful. For years, the Boko Haram sect raged across the land, trailing fire and death in its wake. 2 weeks ago, the government imposed a state of emergency here, making the region even more unbearable for its inhabitants. The impact of the insurgency, as well as the state of emergency, is also being keenly felt at the University of Maiduguri. Many students have not been able to make it to school, fearing arrests and harassment from soldiers, as well as threats from militants. The last time I visited Maiduguri was about 20 years ago. I was here on a visit from London to see a relative who was a student at this university. I remember a bustling institution with students from across Nigeria and the continent. Today, many students and lecturers have fled. Those who remain are here because they have to be. And those who remain here admit there are Boko Haram members amongst their ranks. They lay the blame squarely at the feet of the politicians.
Yes, there are some of us. Some of us are dropouts. They are frustrated. So they leave the school environment, went and start something like political talks.
Political thugs?
Yes. They follow politicians everywhere. They kill people even before these Boko Haram issues, especially in this town.
This town, Maiduguri, paralyzed by poverty and insurgency, and now living under the authoritarian heel of the Nigerian army. But still, people remain here, stuck in the rut, braving the threat. The glimmer of hope still a long distance away.